Hi, it's Josh and Matt at Last Bastion, and today we're going to be looking at the contrast paints from Games Workshop. We have undercoated some Space Marine Primaris dudes in the Grey Seer and the Wraithbone. The Wraithbone. Might I just say now, these are two of the best spray paints I have used in a long time. I'm not sponsored by Games Workshop, but they are ace. Better than anything they currently make. They cover really well, and they don't dust, and they don't go blur. They do take a little bit longer to dry than the other spray paints, but I'm guessing that's why they're so good, because they're full of awesomeness, and awesomeness takes ages to dry. Just like these paints, they will take about 30 minutes to dry, depending on how much you put on. We've got every single colour. Me and Josh are just going to sit and paint and chat and stuff, and paint some bits and bobs. We probably won't use all the colours, but we're going to try and do a good selection. If you're watching on the live feed, then feel free to jump in and tell us any colours you want to see used. Yeah, we'll just start painting.
So you can start painting, and I'll... What?
Is that fine? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So I'm thinking, so this is the Wraithbone. I'm going to do yellow.
So whilst you're painting then...
What? Weirdo in the corner's laughing at me.
Contrast paints, what are they?
They're contrast and paint in a pot. So they're like a high pigment wash. The idea is that in one coat you'll be able to do the base coat, highlight and wash process all in one. I have stayed away from using these really, because I wanted it to be like a complete surprise tonight doing this, where I went, oh my god, this is amazing. But if I'd already pre-done some and knew what I was going to be, reacting like, then it wouldn't be very good, I don't think. So I'm just going to slap this on. So my Marines are yellow, which is why I'm going to start with yellow, because I think if this is easier than the way I normally do, I normally lament as yellow my guys. That's what I normally do. I've just painted over the... don't know, it's all getting painted. The whole lot. I've just painted over all his backpack. Not backpack. What's that thing on his bum called? Don't say butt cheek.
I was going to say butt flap. But yeah.
It's like a butt flap. It carries pouch. His bum pouch. His bum pouch. That's it. So first thing I notice is that it goes on a bit thicker, if you get the meaning, compared to the washes. So it's like halfway between a layer paint and a wash. So straight out the pot, and it doesn't run as much as washes do. If that makes any sense.
Well, yes, because with washes, they're more water, less pigment.
What the hell is that on my face phone? Got like a knee flap. You got a knife? This guy needs some medicine.
Very little pigment. The contrast is a bit of half and half with...
They should just call this Duncan paint. Because it is literally applying two thin coats in one coat.
So 2 thin coats will make a thick coat.
For the wedding. So possibly
I'm going to have to check to make sure that's still running because I'm not too sure if messages or anything will trip my phone out.
Okay, we'll find out. If it isn't running, then...
No, we are still good.
Good, good, good.
I'll have to give me a second.
So yeah, it's it feels nice as well. Never thought I'd say that about painting. It feels pleasant to apply. Feels like you're actually putting paint on the model rather than with washes. It just feels like you're slapping the air, like high-fiving blankness. Whereas this actually feels it's got resistance, which some might say is futile.
So most of the gaming community will know that these have been made to make painting quicker and easier.
Apparently.
That's what they've mainly been marketing this as, isn't it?
Paint your armies quick.
Yeah. To which, if it does what it says on the tin, which is base, shades and highlights in one go,
then hello Yellow Space Marines in no time at all.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, goodbye Yellow Space Marines in no time at all, and hello pile of plastic. Yeah, the idea is that Games Workshop want you to be able to have the 3 colours base for the tournaments without having to worry about quality of paint job. Because I'm already seeing this is actually, for yellow, a big improvement on the normal way of painting yellow. Massive improvement on the normal way of painting yellow.
Now, where Matt's saved it tonight to actually been using paints, I've been using them during the daytime already, so I've had a bit more practice.
You're going to tell me all the things I've done wrong, aren't you?
Well, not that. It's a case of later I'll help talk about what have been the good things about them.
Of course, we could have showed all the models that you painted, but I've just resprayed them all. So I do apologise for
Yes. What would be the bad points about using them?
Now that is already drying quite nicely. I can see. I actually see that's quite impressive. My other yellow model took me more or less all day to paint, and it was undercoated yellow to begin with. Just got to make sure you get all the. Might as well put the black on the gun.
Now they do say, Games Workshop has said, with the contrast paints, the best way of doing these, when it comes to applying different colours onto the same model with contrast, is you start with the lighter colours first, then go darker. That's because, unlike with layers and bases, you can put a dark colour on, then you can put a lighter colour on top and still get that colour come through. With contrasts, it's not the same. Where excuse me, where it does go on like a wash or shade, it means lighter colours will not show through if there's been a dark colour put on top.
I've just dropped a little bit of the Argos dunes. Agaros dunes, even. I like to call it Argos dunes. Over the eagle.
Yeah.
To make it look like it's gone gold. Try a bit of non-metallic. See how that just drops on there and see how it looks. So now I would normally use my Abaddon black for this because I've done the same sort of thing as contrast paint. I've just added like half a foot of medium to my black and it made it fluid. So I probably wouldn't use Black Templar unless it astounds me.
But saying that though, with your Abaddon black and medium added to it, it wouldn't do the highlight process, would it? So you're hoping with the Black Templar contrast paint, it will.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
No.
So this would probably need to be 2 coats, two Duncan coats.
Yeah.
Over the Wraithbone, because
Yes. Matt is unfortunately one of those painters that he will put the brush in his mouth over and over again.
it does taste like shit, by the way. Paint
The paint.
tastes like Hydrox Surf Shade.
I'm actually quite impressed you managed to reference that with another paint.
Thank you. Not just a pretty face.
No.
Yeah, definitely not the paint to put over Wraithbone. But I am going to try something, because it gave me an idea when I started applying this.
We have got the only Nova Brothers, but I bet it does. You're not paying to eat the paint. Ha ha ha. But I was saying that though, these paints are £4.75.
As much as a burger.
Yeah.
So you may as well.
If you've got a choice of having to paint a model or paint the model and eat the paint.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend.
What, the Black Templar?
No, just using Black Templar and yellow in the same before it dries. You definitely have to wait for the paint to dry. Yeah, for sure.
So Matt's using a regiment brush from the Army Painter range.
No, that's
to apply all the paint on. When you're painting the entire model, it doesn't really matter too much about the brush. But when it comes to painting the other detail on, that's why Matt's gone for the regiment brush, because it means you can still paint it on, but then it gives you more control, so you're not going over the edges. Whereas if you were to use a bigger brush with this, you run the risk of going over the edges. And with the contrast paints, if you go over onto another contrast paint, when it comes to the touch-ups, you will have to touch up the entire area that has been affected. So, example, if it was one of the fingers Matt went over with the Black Templar, he'll have to do the entire hand section again. That's because, unlike base paints and layer paints, if you were to accidentally spill another paint onto it, you can get away with just doing a little brush stroke.
tastes nice. Yellow's nice.
Yeah. What does it taste like?
Like weird banana.
You can actually get away with putting a little brush stroke over the affected area with another layer of base and cover it. But that isn't the case with the contrast paints. You will have to go over the entire area again. And when I say that, what I mean is not reapply the same colour. You'll have to get the grey sears or the Rathbone base, paint that onto the section, then go over the contrast. That is mainly because where the contrast again is working like a shade, if you were to just put the contrast on, you will still see the bit that you painted over. It'll just be a different shade of yellow.
You got the
Blinky Bootastic has just reminded me I've not actually shared this to the last Bastion page. I know. So, exit full screen. That's basically exit full screen.
So, my common sense is telling me just to use these to do what I want to do, but I'm going to experiment a little bit. I'm going to get Apothecary White and then try and put like a highlight in to then re-wash it afterwards on his shoulder pads. It probably wouldn't work, but try it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Now, obviously, you're doing this before you've done the half-hour dry bit as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Mm.
See, Apothecary White just turns it grey. That's interesting. So, it'd be nice to see Apothecary White over a white Space Marine. Maybe get a Corlax White in.
Would you like me to get a Corax White? Yeah.
There's a headless over there, but it'd be nice to have the head. Take that blue one. Spray that blue one here. Spray that white and we'll see what that's like over white.
Mm-hmm.
So, come in with some Wraithbone and some contrast medium. So the one thing I can say it hasn't done is edge highlight this model. It definitely hasn't edged highlighted. But I really wasn't expecting it to. Because it only does that, from what I've seen with you guys, only does that on material. So I'm going to use the Wraithbone to lighten up the shoulder pad. Now I've used the contrast medium with it to see what it does to the paint. It's like a normal base paint.
Yeah, right.
Hasn't really done what I expected, to be honest. It hasn't done the same sort of lamy and medium thing. So you can see already I've had to do something to this model to adjust things like shoulder pads, but I wasn't expecting it to do very well on shoulder pads or large areas because of the reviews I've seen. What it has done though nicely is highlighted and low light like the bottom of the pauldron, is it? Is it a greave? The bottom part of a leg. So what I'm doing is with the Wraithbone, just going over some of the areas that I think can do with a bit of a highlight. And then I'm going to reapply the yellow afterwards. I might even use the yellow glaze which you just took off the shelf. So I think that would be nice. Now they've canned it. Okay, so same thing applies as most paints don't go over the same area more than once. otherwise it pulls all the paint off. There.
So we've got the Corex white spray, I was waiting for that to dry.
Thank you all. So I'm not sure if the viewers at home will see this, but
So what have you been doing?
just lightened up areas to reapply some of that colour as a second coat. I don't know what a second coat will do to it, but those areas were the areas that it hadn't really taken.
Yeah.
So whether it's because I didn't pay enough attention to the model as it dried, or whether I just doesn't not enough or whatever. So I thought if I reapplied it and then had a look at what would happen then.
Yeah.
But I'll have to wait for full dry under that one. I can see with the Black Templar maybe another coat after it's dried and make it look good. It'll definitely be a nice way to paint black. It might be limited to small areas though. I wanted to look at what's that base one called? There was a paint earlier and its name reminded me of base colour. Texture paints. Snake point leather, contrast, dark oak, fire slayer. Oh, maybe it was the Agalos dunes, because of dunes. Right, yeah. Is that the yellow? Is that the white?
No, that's still the grey. I've got the white down here.
Ah.
That's frozen for an unusually long time, that has. So I'm going to have to check the camera, 'cause that's slightly worrying. So that is still streaming there. Still looks right for the moment. But yes, we've got Mace is painting tinheads along with us. He has sent a couple of pictures to the page. Because that image is not changed in that laptop, has it?
Nope.
So that's slightly worrying. What's gone off there then? I'm actually going to have to refresh our Twitch page now.
Will it refresh the video?
No, because I'm doing it. The video's still running live. That's something completely different. That will still keep running. You can still talk and do everything, obviously.
Well, while I'm waiting for the yellow to dry, we are going to be back on with the Ethermatic blue.
So everything seems right. Yeah, there we go.
That's weird. It's froze again.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm moving too much.
Right.
I'm moving on up, I'm moving on up. Is that MP play?
Think so?
Possibly. Nothing can stop me. Nighthorn.
Well,
This colour.
that blue you're using, I can't pronounce that to save my life.
Athematic.
Yes, that one.
Sounds like something off a film. If you can see where I'm going now.
No, I can't see where you're going.
Can Sean see where I'm going? It's athematic.
Go on, Sean, because Matt will tell me.
The only thing I'm thinking is possibly either some sort of really bizarre reference to Greece,
Yeah.
or just some reference in the name.
Oh, decent. Oh.
Sounds weird in the same way that Aeon Flux is a weird name.
I was thinking of Greece lightning, when they go, it's hydromatic, it's automatic, it's Grease lightning. But I was going to go for it's athematic, it's something, it's contrast paint. But I couldn't.
You couldn't figure that one out there.
I couldn't figure that one out. We'll just leave that hang in the wind. White Diana. So she was a candle.
Should be right for her, you like that. Yeah, good amount of coverage.
So, what is the Space Marines Alpha Legion? Are they the blue shiny armoured guys?
Space Marines?
No, the Alpha Legion, are they blue shiny armoured?
Ultramarines.
What? Why are you just naming legions now?
No, alright.
Alpha Legion?
Oh, is that an actual Legion?
There's a Legion. Show your knowledge on 40k there.
I ain't got no knowledge on 40k.
I ain't got a clue. So basically, if you go over it again, it screws it up.
Well, so if you go...
So like if you go
Athematic.
"Bleh," and then
Twice.
you accidentally go over a bit you've already done,
Yeah.
it messes up the flow. It creates a glitch.
Like the Matrix.
And you see two black cats walk across the painting table. It is nice colour though. So I'm thinking, like, interestingly, it's with this paint, it's given itself a spot highlight. Can you see? Spot highlights appearing there.
That's literally where the paint has actually not covered that bit at all. So we've got...
It's gone on and just gone bleh.
So we've got from Blinky Butastic. So what's the big deal with contrast paints? Is it overhyped? Now, me personally, well actually we'll start with what's the big deal first. It's supposed to speed up your painting because it's doing your basing, your layering and your shading all in one go.
Ooh, you can also blow it.
Well, yeah, because it's quite a watery paint, therefore you can spread it out.
So I splotted load on and blew it, and I got that effect. Like a double-edged highlight.
So that's the point of contrast. So if you think normal painting, you base it, then you would chuck a shade over it, then you'll layer it, then you would highlight. And sometimes you might even add an extra shade on there as well. So that process can take quite a bit of time. And the idea of this is you'll chuck on your base paint, which would probably be the Rathbone or the grey sear, or could be quite white, or a different colour, could be metallic.
It smells like PVA.
PVA. And then all you do is chuck in your contrast colour, wait half hour, and then that's your model done. It can look quite cartoony, I will agree with that, but we have posted some pictures up today. We've done one earlier on, which was, well, guess which one was done with the base, layer and shading technique, and guess which one was done with the contrast paint. These were done on the Secretors. Thank you.
Some sort of stormy.
Yeah. For the Stormcast guys. And
this would be nice for Grey Knights. This colour.
And what we did with those,
3 parts contrast to 1 part contrast paint, and it's literally made a high pigmented wash.
yeah,
Without a skewer.
yeah. So what Blinky has put is, so basically for those hobbyists who don't really care for painting, it's fast and easy to get gaming quicker. Yes, it's designed to get to that tabletop standard a lot quicker.
In all fairness, though, I'll counteract that. I like painting.
Yeah.
Putting that yellow on there saved me 4 hours of painting yellow.
Yeah.
Because I would normally get to this stage after about 4 hours of layering my yellow up. So that was 10 minutes or so. It saved me the 4 hours of actually getting the yellow put on.
All
Yes.
those years wasted.
So how's that counteracting that small agreeing?
No, he's just said, for people who don't like painting, it's quick and easy. I like painting. That was quick and easy because it saved me for 4 hours of yellow.
Oh yeah, but it's still kind of agreeing in the same sense though. It's meant for those that don't like painting. Oh,
But it's
I
not
don't
meant,
spend
no.
hours painting.
It's meant to speed up the process of painting. It doesn't matter whether you like painting or not.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to not like painting to enjoy contrast paints. So yeah, you're wrong.
Now, also, but for those perfectionist hobbyists who love the painting and the details, etc., it won't be a big hype. Not as much, no, because those people
I have to agree with people. Is that honestly your opinion?
Well, I feel those perfectionists, they'll be used to doing their ways a certain way. So some of them won't go over to contrast that much. But some of them still, it will do the job for them a bit easier. And it might even do a better quality job than what I can do.
I think anybody who thinks contrast paints aren't worth the money or aren't a good investment are the same sort of people who burnt all the Warhammer armies when AOS came out.
Oh, quite a few people do that.
Short-sighted.
Shots fired.
Now,
Because personally, I can see this has got some excellent applications.
so we've got 2 models which I'll bring close to the camera.
Smug. Who's Blinky Bootastic?
I believe that is Macy's other half. So, we have...
Ooh, have I
forget that in the right
just caused an argument? Have I split the family?
Now, we have model there. That one is done with the base and layer paints. So, this one's taken quite a bit of time to do if it gets in focus. Sometimes if you focus on the thumb, it will get the rest of the model in. Now, this one was done with the contrast paints. And the bits I've done is the cloth, by the way. Now, with these, it turned out that I spent quite a while on the base and layer technique. But as Matt's saying, doing that yellow space marine there, it was very quick doing the contrast. And I prefer the contrast effect than what I've managed to do with a base and layer and a bit of a dry brush to try and match the effect. The contrast has given a beautiful effect, I find, on the cloth. So I can see people, perfectionists and all sorts, using it to get that desired effect, but quicker and at the same quality. To which, why spend 4 hours painting the model when you can spend 10 minutes and get the same quality. That's it, isn't it? Easy way of summarising that.
Makes a nice warm yellow on the second application.
We've got a Bling here. She doesn't think they're waste of money or pointless. I find them too bright, so bright. Now, with some of these colours, yes, because the colours you've chosen, that's quite bright, aren't they? The asymmetric blue and the.
But you apply them twice and they go darker. So it's just a matter of application. I think that is beautiful.
I mean, with some models, you will go that bright for a colour.
It kind of works nicely as well.
Yeah.
Dark colour then. You tried shish purple. Is that one?
Yeah, the sheesh purple is what we used
What's
on
the
these
on blue? That's dark blue. Isn't it?
Six Sigmarines.
Is the one we haven't used yet.
We've
Has
used
anyone used
purple,
that one?
we've used Dark Angel Green.
Oh, is he dry?
Ish. Give him a bit longer, you've got the grey there.
I'm going to splatter this guy.
I think we found with these contrast paints, if you're painting part of the model that's got detail on that surface, the colour will take quite nicely. If it comes to doing part of the model where there's very little detail on it, like you got, for example, on Space Marines, you've got the shoulder pads. If you've got a largish area like that where there's no detail on it, the paints won't work as well. Considering, well, where it's a type of wash, it needs all the detail to actually pull into the recesses to give the shading. If you've got a flat surface, there's nowhere for the paint to go, so it won't give you a smooth surface. But they've got the contrast medium there to help thin the paint out and cover a flat surface a bit smoother. That will mean you need to do about 2 layers for it. So they have covered the bases there with flat surfaces as well. We have got...
Speaking of covering bases,
Yep.
this would be nice to paint over your bases with.
Well, you also say that on the Stormcast model, it did come with a base with details on it. And I have gone over the bottom in the Bastion Ballymore.
What's the story in Baltimore? Wouldn't you like to know? Basilicum.
That one.
Basilicum.
On the grey. And I did
Or
go over,
Basilicum, as you want to call it.
I did go over with the brown, but it didn't sharpen nice. But if you look at the base there, you can show it's got some nice shading and nice effect for concrete pavement.
To be honest, this just looks like Papa Nerdle took a giant diarrhea shit all over the model. If you ever want to confuse your partner by thinking you haven't flushed the toilet, just go and fall this down.
I'm watching Mace paint over white undercoat and I feel like a unicorn vomit over the tunis.
Well, he's achieved what he's going for then. Tyranids looking like they're being vomited on by unicorns.
Okay, what about beginner painters? Easier to use?
Yes. We run lots of tutorials, and the one thing that beginner painters don't do is A, thin paints, and B, they don't wipe the paint off the brush, do they?
No.
So the one thing you don't need to do with these paints is thin them or wipe the brush off the paint. Paint off the brush. So yes, brilliant for beginner painters because they can just slap it all over the place and not have to worry about it being too thick. So I can see it getting a lot of young people in. Yeah, that just looks like it's been dumped in a bag of shit. Very dark shit, like you've got something wrong with you. Like a bit of tar in it, you know, when it comes out. And you never had that before? It's all like dark brown and
I'm just surprised how dark you're going with this.
I had to make it dark, so I was trying to explain a dark colour. That,
Yeah, is pointless.
no,
Okay.
Grey Knights.
Actually, yeah, they all work for Grey Knights, won't it? Yeah.
Grey Knights always have that kind of blue hue to the armour. And
Yeah, always in the corners and edges. That all.
how many times was I trying to achieve that on the Grey Knights that I was painting for that commission and never achieved it?
I know, I can't remember that.
I was trying several glazes, like watered down glazes with lambing medium, black enough nightshade lambing medium, trying all sorts. If this painting had been around 3 years ago, then that commission would have been a piece of piss.
The one thing.
Oh, I'm a shit marine!
I keep saying that, the one thing. With beginner painters,
Oh yeah,
one thing that will be a bit tricky for them.
is figuring out which end of brush to use.
Well, no, I was going to say, when it comes to putting other contrasts onto others, being neat with it.
Oh yeah, no, they'll not be able to achieve that. But most beginners start with Space Marines, so they should be all right.
So
there.
you won't have to worry about neatest aspect too much there. But wow,
a half and half
Right.
mid.
half nid. That nid has just got just about a bit of everything on there, hasn't it?
He's been trying to compete with my Rainbow Marine. Nothing will compete with Rainbow Marine.
That is actually quite funky. Though we've got a mace that's been doing Tyranids and sending pictures. But what were we saying about the neatness and that? Yeah, I've mentioned before. Neatness can be quite handy with this because when it comes to going over other areas of the contrast paint, if you go over it, you'll have to redo the entire section. But if you neat, you won't have to. It'll make the clean up a lot easier. But otherwise, yeah.
Can you spray me a second Space Marine in white?
In white. Why didn't you just get me to do two in the first place?
Because I haven't considered this before.
Okay. Right. Second Marine in white. Yeah.
I love to make you do stuff as well.
You do, don't you? Make me work for it, don't you? Oh, at least I've got a full tin of white sprays in you, so I know I'm not going to run out.
So I've just caked pottery white over that white Space Marine. So just put the blue over the yellow, turn it green. So you're going to have to probably relayer things or paint the blue on first if you want to do like chest eagles in blue.
It's quite interesting trying to find out if you're spraying white in the dark and covering white. Oh yeah, it's going to be dark, but managed it.
I reckon you'll end up painting still with contrast. It's not the answer. It's the answer to getting things done quick. But like there,
Yeah.
I wanted the chest eagle blue. It's turned green by putting the blue contrast over the yellow, which obviously green and blue make blue and yellow make green.
Yeah.
But the yellow was dry, so I thought it would actually cover. Sean sat shaking his head.
But then what you would have done as well. See, this is it. You're using these all for the first time, so these are tricks you find out.
So I just want to
after
get
you
blue paint and paint it blue.
Yeah,
Is
or
what I'll do.
you might actually paint it the yellow. Then, once it's dried, you would apply a Corax white, a grey
You
sear,
won't be able to.
or a skeleton bone onto the bit you were going to do bone, on blue, and then you do the blue one.
Definitely need to leave the arms off on these models. So unfortunately, it's a second application of this paint actually changes the way it flows. Interestingly.
Once you apply the second coat, I found as well where the colour has kind of sat more. The second coat, it will
Clings.
gravitate towards there
Yeah,
more
it
as well.
clings, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's weird. I like it. I think I preferred the first coat.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something you could put on the tabletop and have as yellow. I'd probably paint the bolt gun and that in normal paints though. I
So
wouldn't
we'll
use
show Matt's one up
contrast for
closer.
that.
So that's what he's managed with the yellow there.
That shit brown just went brown. Apothecary white just looks like you've painted light grey.
Yeah.
I do like that colour.
No, pass us, take that. Pass with the athematic blue, and I'll show that one off.
Yeah, the upper white's still drying, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to show that one. Da, 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 da. And go fly around.
Well, why more?
There it is.
Macy's missus said she's aware of how to use a brush. Urgh.
The only thing I would question would be whether, I suppose it all depends actually on how much contrast you'll be using on the model, but whether it would be better to base a model in the Wraith or the Gracier, so you can put contrast paints on, or to base it in the normal colours you use as if you paint the models. What I'm trying to get at is, example, you're doing a model that's got quite a bit of metal on it. Would you spray the model metal, then do other bits in contrast, or would you spray the model in,
Like yours.
in the Gracier or the Wraith Bone,
I probably.
then layer and base on the metal?
If I was gonna spray it metal and then layer this on, I'd just use the normal paint. Depending on how much metal. If it was Mechanicus, I'd probably still paint them normally. cloaks are nice, but I don't think contrast would work on their cloaks because they're very straight cloaks. Not like these guys. These guys have got like seams and things.
I mean, even if you were to say base in a normal spray, and then you apply the small base paints for the contrast on. Yes, you're having to base a layer on, then do contrast, but that still will be quicker than doing the normal painting method of base, layer, shade, highlight, won't it?
Yeah, I mean, I can see them being a lot more useful for organic models, bloodthirsters,
Lizards,
bloodletters, plague marines, Seraphon, Sylvana, Magnus, Demon Princes, Tyranids, Dark Eldar, when they've got lots of fleshy bits out. Dark Owls with lots of fleshy bits out. Fire Slayers, Dwarves, anything with lots of fleshy areas or skinny things. I can see it being quite useful for. As well as cloth, Guardsmen. I think the camo shades will look really nice on the Guardsmen. Space Marines are the only armoured things I probably use it for, because most of the armoured things are metal armours. Whereas Marines have got a full coloured armour, so it's quite useful for that. I think I'd still paint the bolt gun black though, myself, with black paint rather than contrast black. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have a go, like I did with the Stormcast guy with that white one, if I may. Is it dry?
I'll just find it out.
That look a very nice grey army. That one. This is more like a white blue.
A white blue. That's probably because it's gone on top of a blue model.
So 3 brushes, 4 brushes, 1, 2. So 4 and 2 is what I've used.
So that'll be 4 contrast medium, 2 contrast paint.
Don't think it was enough.
And that's with the Ballistic-Cannon grey.
Yeah, I thought.
Oh, I said it.
Basilicum.
Basilican.
You said Ballistic-Cannon.
Yeah. Ballistic-Cannon. Cannon.
Basilicanum.
Ballistic-Cannon.
You said yeah, I don't know. You said some. I don't know. Can't remember what it was you said now.
Grey! Actually, saying that, for all you know, I am pronouncing this right. You just where you're northern.
Or white.
Or white. Yeah. Just where you're northern, you just don't understand me properly. That's not the case. I am saying it wrong, but it would be nice.
Yeah. So now we've gone another 2.
Now, what effect are you trying to achieve on this?
I'm trying to get a lot of that white to show through, and it's split across just into the cracks.
Yeah.
Because I normally like to do my white with black low lights.
Yes, because we've tried painting stormtroopers, haven't we? We've been having a bit of problem with that, haven't we?
So it'd be nice just to see how this works. Yeah, painting white, you've still got to paint white over the model.
There you go. They
Mine.
can't hear you. They can't. There we go.
Yes,
Go
they
on.
can. So if they're painted white, you've still got to paint white over the model no matter what process you use. And that is just like having a watered down black wash. And that is like having a watered down
Grey wash.
yeah, Ulthuan grey. But obviously you can't water down Ulthuan grey into wash that easily. So Apothecary white is handy. Spray the model white, hit it with Apothecary white. While it's drying, you'll probably take some off as it dries. Off the shoulder pads to make them brighter. Or use it as literally like a wash, and just put it in the edges and let it creep into the edges itself. So that wouldn't splatter on. I'd probably line that in like a wooden wash. Interesting how that's changed colour.
Yeah, it's gone
A bit lighter.
leathery, that.
It's like a dark leather. I do like that colour though. Definitely a nice colour. So, any colours we haven't used yet? We had an orc flesh yet?
No, I don't think even Sean's used that one. Or Clash. Oh no, he hasn't used it. For those that do clean up their lids for the paint pots as well, where these paints are quite thin, they won't actually gunk up your lids, so you'll never have a problem with them not closing properly, or having to every now and then clean up the lid because of the paint pouring into the lid, or collecting into the lid.
Not really sold on it being orc flesh.
You know what that is, don't you?
Why?
Because you chucked on to power armour.
Rather than an orc's face. That's probably why.
But then again, you still got to wait for it to dry.
Indeed. Indeed, Daniel Jackson.
So this is the Griff Charger Grey as well. Griff Charger Grey, although it does say grey, it's a shade of blue, isn't it? A bluey grey rather than just normal grey.
Yeah, that's certainly a nice thing to wash space walls with.
I was going to say a bit like a Space Wolf colour, isn't it?
Speaking of space walls, there's a space wolf colour, isn't there?
Yes, there is. It was next to the Griff Charger Grey. Nope. 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 No. 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 Yep. No. Yeah. There we go.
Quite like
Marco for
things at the arcade. With like a little hand.
oh, the grabbers.
No one
I've been
saw
waiting
that.
for that. I've been waiting for that.
I think my right hand now so it goes in your face.
Funny enough, I was been worried about that as well.
Watching that back on the video. It takes a bit of shaking, does this one? It's 10:30.
That's gone quite nicely this evening. Not too late. See,
It's better be worthwhile.
this is how much of a change viewing on a Sunday to the Saturday has been for us. What have we been having so far? About six to eight, haven't we?
Yeah, how many people? 2.
3. So, we've got new comments apparently. I've already seen this one. Why is it still showing up that it's not been seen? There we go. That's why, because I never clicked on it.
Yeah, it works for Spaceballs.
Yeah. So
It's a nice colour, that.
do you think they've...
Designed around Space Marines.
yeah, with some of these colours...
Since
and the way
half the to complete you there, sorry.
No, that's alright, I'm used to it.
Since half the colours are named after Space Marine legions, it really doesn't surprise me.
So,
What's that?
with that being said, Mace, we will actually move the camera closer. That's an incredibly good point. Mace has put, need the camera over Matt's hands. It's too far away for a paint stream. So,
I thought it was a paint chat.
well, paint chatting is still a bit coming.
So what you do is
Nobody wants to see your face, Matt.
That's what it's all our faces.
Ah! Jesus,
What?
that's gross.
What, your face?
No, that colour. Found a lovely colour for your Thousand Suns.
Pterodon turquoise.
Achillean green. Every time you rock the table, I hit another bit of the model. Rock the Casbah. Rock the Casbah. Can you tell that I didn't know the words?
So, just one moment.
Just wow. Just wow. As colours go, I would happily paint my Space Marine Legion that colour.
That's right, actually. Oh, I'm screwing on the I do apologise for the wobbliness of this.
But he's literally fingering the device as we speak.
What we do is we'll plonk you on there.
Now they'll hear every single burp in stereo. Probably should have washed out my brush.
So hopefully that'll be a bit better for you guys.
Except I'm not left-handed.
Well, it's a good thing you painted with your right hand then, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's not, because they can't see when I put my hand in front of it.
Oh, do you want me to change to...
Nah, it's fine.
Because we could just swap seats.
But then they won't see anyway, because I'm going to hold the model upside down when I paint. I'm not very good at this sort of thing.
Actually, I know what angle to use. If you're worried about it that way...
I'm not worried.
Well, you were just complaining, weren't you?
Let's see what the viewers think. I think I've kind of conquered the metallic colour.
Yeah.
Yes. Blue, metallic-y blue
What I'll
heads.
do is... I can do it.
By knocking over all the models.
Hold it there momentarily. Come round.
That's my face.
I know it's your face. Because what I'll do is, if I go around this angle, you'll be able to get everything in.
Just nice to see technique. Sorry, Mace, but I have no technique. Other than...
Right, so, where are you painting so I can actually get it?
I normally paint about here.
Yeah, go on.
Bizarrely, that's quite nice that now.
Having it on a painting handle.
No, I mean just looking at the model. Comparing it. Still think that's probably better if you add some ethematic to it, whatever it's called. Ethemerium. Ethemerium! Oh, technical contrast medium, that's it, like ethemerium. That's not gonna... It's
Yeah, just need
spazzing.
tightening, yeah. You want to know why it's spazzing? Because I'm still tightening up so it doesn't move.
Well, excuse you.
Yeah,
Where's the camera?
Where's the camera?
I'm well off. I'm like all the way over the edge of the thing. I need to be here.
Yeah, there is exactly where you need to be.
Dee 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 dum ba dum 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 da da dee dum ba da bum ba dee dee dum da dee doo da ba ba dee dee do ba ba ba. That's the music I play. Yeah, you literally cannot see that.
You know why? Because you actually you cut off its head.
But where? How? How? How?
No, you've got it all in there, yeah. It's perfectly in angle. You're right there. Nah, yeah, good. I'll tell you what. I'll rotate it up a little bit.
It doesn't help that our feed isn't instant, so I
No.
can't see where it is until about a minute later.
There you go. Just start painting anyway because I can adjust.
I'm spinning.
I know you're spinning.
You're spinning me right round, Space Marine right round, like a Space Marine, round, round, right round. So that's like some colours. So what next, guys? What's next? I don't know. What's shish purple? Is it like kebab?
She's size. She's.
What is shish?
It's like what we've had on the cloaks.
Have you noticed that is a really nice grey for Space Wolf grey?
Yeah.
I can see Space Wolves being painted now.
So your size
The shadows
will be like that one.
dark purple.
Yeah.
Also, do Do you get what is it?
You've got wet blend there. Yeah, that's perfect view there, Matt.
So, don't know how many different parts that was. I think it was 3-2 or something like that. Or I added more. I have to watch the feed and, but that's what I would probably do for metallic armour. That was a colour. The other option, of course, is to paint it and add the contrast medium to your paint. Wonder how that would work.
Mm.
Well, I think that's quite nice for metallic armour. Don't know what Sean thinks. Probably Sean will think it's rubbish. He always does. He always thinks I'm rubbish. He's a meanie. Job interviews tomorrow for his job. Only he's been interviewed though.
Small pay for long hours.
Small pay?
Yeah.
Not even sure you can call it small pay. So, this is Plague Marine Flesh. Which I can safely say is very Plague Marine-y. Sorry, not Plague Marine, Plague Bearer. The bearers of the plague. I would quite happily paint my plague bearers with this. I'd probably do it over necrotic flesh from Army Painter. Probably. That's what I'd be likely to paint it over, rather than these colours.
And what type of colour is necrotic flesh?
Pale green. I think it would be nice just to accentuate and stuff. Yeah, I'm completely missing the thingy doodad, aren't I?
The what doodad?
The video.
No, the model's still in there, still getting painted. You can still see it.
As you can see, there is zero technique to this. It's just splatter.
Slap it on, isn't it?
Splattery goodness heads. Just keep splattering as much as you can. There's no wrong way of doing this, I don't think. I mean, if you wanted, you could dip the model in the pot, if the pot was big enough. I wish you'd get like 7 or 8 different tubs of it and just put it in one big pot. Just dip marines by the dozen.
Probably would actually work as well.
Well, you could get like a tumble dryer effect going where you spin them in it. Yeah, I think over that light green spray, that'd look awesome. Definitely. I want to try the other one. I forgot what they call it now. The other Nurgle colour. Am I imagining that again?
Nurgle colour?
I'm sure there was like a plague. There was Plague Bearer Flesh and then something. I must have like really weird dreams in the night time where I just dream there's like... Could have sworn there was like a typhus colour. Like to paint your plague marines.
You mean a typhus, like a typhus corrosion kind of thing?
No, typhus corrosion isn't what I mean. But yes, like something like named like that, yes. All I can see at the minute is my chest, so I'm just going to put the cam there. Sponsored by.
Not too sure, nothing seems to be that kind of writing.
I don't know what colour to use next because there's a shed load of browns. Has anyone used voluptuous pink yet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn you!
I've used the pink for the wrapping on the weapons for the Sigmarines.
What haven't you used yet? Cygor brown? Is that what I used a minute ago? No, I used Wildwood, didn't I? Was it Wildwood I used? I can't remember what I used now.
We have got Talisar Blue. That is what Mace wants you to use.
I thought he'd used that already. Isn't that what he painted? He painted his doodads in.
Possibly.
So, Talisar Blue.
Or pink as well.
War pink.
Or pink as well.
Or pink as well.
Yes.
Which pink?
Also, try contrast over a layer paint.
With an undercoat suffice.
Well, yeah, because that's what a layer will effectively be, won't it? And an undercoat for the contrast.
Or does he want me to like paint a model and then... Ah! It's hideous.
But yes, Mace has used the blue.
Ugh, so why did you ask me to use it then? Wow, that was a massive splodge. I feel like I got all the splodge there. This is hurtful. This is painful to look at. Is this what you're going to paint your Thousand Suns with? Sean.
Mm.
Your Thousand Suns, are you going to use that?
Tezzalar Blue.
No. Because that's blue.
What colour are you doing your Thousand Suns then?
Turquoise.
You know what? You and your painting.
I think I've just have I just moved completely all over the place. I told you I'm not designed for this. All because people want to see my technique.
Mace's put Blood Angel's contrast. It dries better.
What? So hit it twice with contrast. Light paint, say Wazdaka red, and hit it with Blood Angel's contrast. Okay. Interesting concept, actually.
Yeah.
And for once, it's something you don't have to do for me. Well, you will. You'll have to go and get the model. That Orc flesh looks more like a camo colour.
Yeah. So if you want to pass the orc, you want to pass the orc flesh over again. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Vroom, vroom. Calm down now.
No, you haven't.
Should have probably been wearing my glasses for this.
Do you want me to grab them?
Okay, so you've had lots of nice quietness for the last few minutes while I unfortunately concentrated. I don't seem to be able to do two things at once, but what I was looking for a while ago was something to paint over this with to bring it up to red from Wazdaka, because I wasn't a big fan of Wazdaka red, but it was a good base to use over the silver. And I think Mace has just hit the
Nail on the head.
nail on the head. I think this paint is a good one to paint over it with, to bring it up to a nice red for the orcs. So I always thought Wazdaka a little bit. By the way, there's no technique here, I'm just guessing what I'm painting because I can't actually see the way the camera's set up.
Well, would you like the camera done so it's looking over your shoulder?
I still can't see, and I've got no light either. I'm just moaning, aren't I?
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm just a big moaning mini.
We've just got bearded Doshix. Just join us and say evening, gentlemen.
Jossix or Dosix?
Doshix.
Is that Wardy?
It's Paul from RBBL.
Ah. How did you know that? Is that what you just said? Hi.
I just knew that. No, he actually did put it up in chat.
Hi, Paul. You still able to see what I'm doing?
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, if I can't, I'll actually angle the camera differently, won't I?
So yeah, that actually it makes a nice. It goes nice over this.
Paul says, I think I may be able to paint using contrast.
I think you will, mate. I think I might be losing a lot of work. I think lots of people have now got access to being able to paint nice looking figures.
Well, it gives them the ability to paint or put a paint on, and the way it dries, it gives the result of something like a pro painter would do, wouldn't it? In some cases.
Indeed.
Do you have any greens you can contrast over the top to test effects?
Over the top of what? The red?
Maybe on top of other greens, where you got the orc flesh there, maybe a green to go on top of that. But I've also got from Paul, be good to see an elven eagles in the box colours.
Would it?
Yeah, I think that's a nice little hint there. Isn't that the team he's doing
I
this
believe it is.
league? Yeah.
One thing I've found is it's difficult to hold the model. Once you've
It
got
says a green like orc skin.
what over the ox skin. Yeah, I can do that. Not entirely sure what it'll do to this because I've already based it in quite a dark.
Oh no, he's doing orcs this season.
Well, he has got nothing at all to worry about from my guys. Proved today they can't roll dice, so it should be an easy win. This could be the first and last time that I use halflings.
So chucking them on eBay at the end of the season then?
Oh, I don't know. The puppets are lovely, aren't they?
Mm.
I could use them as any team really. As a count size, couldn't I? I'm not very chatty, am I?
No, you concentrate, aren't you, bless you? It's one of the parts of painting. Yeah, so it looks like these contrast paints can also be used good then to brighten up other colours, really, can't they?
Can.
Right, well, we'll catch you later, Paul, because he's off.
Okay.
Does says he may pop to the shop for paint soon.
When?
Soon.
Okay. Say now.
Oh, no.
We're
no,
going
no.
home soon.
It says he'll fetch down his delves to paint.
So yeah, that actually looks really nice. I quite like that red on there. It really pops it. It really does. I think the orc flesh will probably not work over there.
No, because that'll be a bit too much of a dark base you've put in there, isn't it?
It just kind of turns it green.
Yeah. I'll definitely darken it, won't it? I know that was my phone that made that noise, but I've got no idea what that was about.
I'm wondering what.
Oh, Mace has said he's just managed to mix Dark Oath and Talisar by accident and made a new colour.
Dark Oath and Talisar.
Yeah.
Talisar's the blue, yeah?
Talisar's the blue, yeah.
And Dark Oath is the brown. What colour do they make? Shit
Ah,
load.
it's a subscriber noise. Thank you for that, Mace.
Ooh, a subscriber?
Yeah. Well, you do your painting quite well, so you should be able to tell what brown and blue makes.
Brown or blue?
Wow.
You mix brown with anything, and it's just go like a mucky shit colour. I'm just going to see what Leviathan blue looks like over the Ultramarines undercoat.
Right, okay.
God, that looks dark. It's got such a nice smell to it. I could smell that all day.
So I'm enjoying the use of the contrast paints at the moment then, yeah?
Me? Yeah,
Yeah.
I am. Can see them being quite useful, to be honest.
Well, considering I did...
I'll probably use them with a mix of layers as well. I'll probably use them to get the main colour down and then use layer paints.
Yeah.
They're better than washes.
That's the colour Mace was under as to what it's just changed to.
Dark blue.
Yeah, like a browny blue. So yours right. But no, yeah, I was doing the usual base layer method for the Stormcast, but since I'm using these contrast paints, I will be changing my paint scheme slightly, so I will be using them as a replacement for cloth and wrappings.
Do you remember the old Night Lord's blue? Was it Night Lord's blue? That really old dark blue, Sean.
I don't know.
I don't think it was Night Lord's, maybe. No, hang on. Regal blue.
Oh, Regal blue, yeah.
Yeah, it used to go like really weird shininess. Really dark. So if you want to do a dark blue army, that's how you find out. Oh, interestingly, that's how the plague one has turned out.
Yeah.
Right though.
Oh, you know what that is, don't you? Not been half hour.
So he isn't dry. He is. That's one that I did.
Well, yeah, because I've not painted any.
No, the one that I mixed black with medium.
Oh, right, okay.
And that is the apothecary. I think if that was mixed with the medium, that'd look alright. I think you need to mix that with medium for it to look nice on white.
You reckon?
It just looks like
Elfin grey.
Elfin grey screen. Yeah, no, you could be. It's alright. Fun grey. It's a nice colour. That just looks like shit, in all fairness. Don't like that colour.
Yeah.
New. I can't think of anything I'd want to paint in that colour. Can you? It just doesn't
Lizards?
look right. I'd probably do them in that one. I'd do lizards in either of these colours. That looks like Nile oxide.
Does a bit that, doesn't it? I should just put that, it rubs off. I assume he means the paint you just put on.
It rubs off.
Yeah.
What, straight away?
Well, probably because it's not been 10 minutes. I don't know.
What's the one about? The one I don't like?
No, I think he means the paint that he's just made onto the model and it's rubbed off already.
Or it rubs off onto you, maybe, is what he meant.
Maybe.
I like that, though. That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
I can see that working nice on an army.
Yeah. He's referring to the paint you just put onto the model. They just rubbed off.
2 coats was too much, I think, for that. 1 coat, definitely. 2 coats is nice.
See,
It
that
gives
seems
you
a bit more
a nice kind of
orangey bit now
Yeah.
than yellow. So yeah, I think you've gone a bit dark for that.
I like the way it really goes in contrast. So you can maybe let. Yeah, that's definitely the don't like pile. That's the like. That's the like. That's the like. That is. I like the Space Wolf grey.
Yeah.
Orc flesh, but the orc flesh might look nice over goblin green as like an undercoat.
Yeah.
If you undercoat it goblin green, then put the orc flesh over. That's turning out quite a nice shade. Blue they used to have. I really do.
That.
Marine! Let's see what the yellow is like over yellow. And here's our dawn yellow. So the colour I was looking for. So thank you, Mace. I take full credit. Dad's getting old, lad.
Ah, there he is.
Spreading it lovingly around them until people learn how to use them. So to get an army on the table ready. Then, if I can, or whether for darkening the silver down, froze again.
On first, but rubbish on the second. So that's what we're doing.
Okay.
So that'll be the first.
Oh, white undercoat.
Yeah. That's with the bone undercoat. That's it. Well,
I think it's lovely. I would do an.
Automatic blue is just like a really thin lilac outside.
Burp. It is. That's why I like it.
the edges for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The edge of your finger is your friend.
Yeah. remembered something we did do earlier on.
Yeah.
With the paints was I tested out one of the flash paints. So sorry that was slightly away from the camera there. But as was just mentioned to Matt, one of the things we did do with the paints was we tested the skin colours as well, which I've already shown Matt this model. Flip. There we go. Da, 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 da. We have the face style on this model after a bit there. That was with the Fire Slayer flesh and the grey for the face. Now, I'm absolutely rubbish doing faces, I will admit that. But as you can see there, in one go, with the contrast paint, it's done the face pretty well on there. Which Matt would probably either will or will not agree.
I thought it looked alright.
Yeah, there you go. Especially for my standard painting, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, for your shocking standard.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Love you too, buddy. So for those that have always struggled doing faces, which can be tricky, it's a good alternative, I say.
So, I had an idea
Yep.
with this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering what it looked like if I put a darker green just in the recesses. So, once I've got it on, if I just run the brush over, like so, just kind of blends it a little bit. It's quite nice. Blends it in. Another example of what you can do with the contrast, which doesn't really work so much with washes because the washes tend to leave a stain.
But I suppose this is less leaving a stain, more leaving a colour, isn't it?
Looks quite nice. And it really kind of, I think it really pulls out the other colour. Which again, you don't have to have, it doesn't have to be finished. You can hit that again with the plague colour and give it a darker green. Dave Adams would probably love this paint. He does nuggles. He does all the nuggles. Marines have lots of little panelly things.
They do, don't they? A lot of recesses.
Little freaking holes you've got to fill in.
I think for the next couple of months you'll see a lot of pictures of different things people have been able to do with the contrast paints, because it's something that everyone's going to be trying now, isn't it? What they can do with way extra things, what techniques.
Pushing it to its limit.
Yeah. Just finding what you can get it to work with.
See, I'd happily use it like I am now.
Yeah.
Because it's better than a wash for what I'm doing. I used to use washes for doing this.
Not only that, but it's
Much
better than a
washes.
colour as well.
Mm-hmm.
Some people might still snuff out at the price and might shy away with it because of the
Yeah,
price,
I mean it's $4.75 for pot, and in all fairness, I think if you, I mean, looking at what we've used out of these, you could probably get a good few hours of painting. A good few hours, a good few. Don't know what I'm trying to say. A lot of Marines,
you'll be able to get a lot of Marines done in a short time.
and I reckon it'd probably do about 30 or 40. Which, if you're using normal paint, that's pretty good, considering the time you've saved.
Mace has put the limit is winning a Slayer sword and using only contrast. I take you know what a Slayer sword is, yeah?
Me?
Yeah.
God, yeah. I'll never ever win a Slayer sword.
But that's it. Someone probably will end up using nothing but they probably will use other type paints as well. But
If people want me to try and win it, I'll give it a go. But I'm not good enough.
no.
I think it adds a nice little depth to the model, that. And then you could like darken that down with that flesh colour again. And I think it'll look quite nice, because it'll add a nice. At the minute it looks a bit too dark. I'd be quite happy with that, to be honest. By itself, I like the contrast.
So this is only the first release of the contrast as well. We don't know if there will be any more.
New.
So
that was the Avalanche Sunset Marine. He's literally turned out the same sort of colour as my double contrast paint over Wraithbone.
yes, that was Wraithbone.
So, in fact, it's a little bit darker, in all fairness. That's the two models. So I reckon one coat does plenty. What are these? Oh, these are my two different.
That's you doing the
These are both
kind
mine,
of
aren't
glazing
they? Yeah.
effect in a sense.
Yeah, this is me trying to glaze these.
Yeah.
So one was the, if you want to do.
I was actually going to say just before you started rotating the base to rotate the base, but now you jumped on that one.
Definitely like the Space Wolves Grey. I think I'll be having Space Wolves Grey in my collection. Where is he?
Space Wolf Grey.
I like Space Wolf Grey.
Yeah.
I also like the Plague Bearer. And I like the green I were using. Was it Pterodon turquoise just then?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember what I was doing that with. It was all flesh, wasn't it? I was all fleshing him. Have I used Pterodon turquoise? Is that Pterodon turquoise? I don't think I like it much. Leviathan blue. I've not used ultramarine blue, have I? Pass us another ultramarine over.
Colour?
Leave one.
Oh, do you want, you've still got quite a few
No,
colours.
I'll have a,
What's your blue one?
yeah,
Blue and blue.
blue on blue and see what blue on blue does. That smells nice as well.
If you were to recommend these, would you probably say it's best to actually try it out first before you buy? Try before you buy? For the paints?
I would. If you've got a thing in mind, I'd definitely try out the paint before you buy it. At somewhere like Bastion, where you may try before you buy. But yeah, if you try the paint out first, you can then establish whether it's going to be successful on what you want to use it for. Because, like, you might find a different blue is better for your ultramarines than the ultramarines blue if you're maybe using a different coloured undercoat.
We've got from Mace, he's not sold on the Wraith Bone.
Really? Any reason? I quite like it for yellow.
So he has put the difference shouldn't be like that, and this is he sent us some pictures for this. So uno momento.
Uno rio momento rio.
Excuse me. The bottom mid is in the white undercoat. Yeah, different in colours from those two, Matt. That's quite a change in shade.
That's purple.
Yeah.
Because it's cream and white, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I reckon if I put this over the grey, it'll look completely different.
Yeah, you can tell with the Wraith Bone, the yellow has gone darker than it has on the grey seer.
It went darker on Wraithbone.
Yeah.
I would have thought it would go dark on the Wraith. On the grey seer, since the grey's a bit of a darker colour, isn't it?
No, but look on these pictures, it's gone darker on the Wraith Bone than it has on the grey seers.
Oh.
To which soon, like he says, there is a fair bit of colour difference from the grey seer and the Wraith Bone. Look, saying it's had that dramatic effect on the yellow is saying something. But I guess that goes to show certain colours with certain techniques.
Oh yeah, I mean if you're painting an undead army,
Then it's probably ideal, isn't it?
the bone colour's ideal, isn't it? If you're painting, it's the right undercoat for the right paint.
I suppose it's quite good that he's using gaunts to paint up, because you're doing a dime a dozen, and you know you've still got plenty more that you can paint.
And every
that you still
200
won't
army
use.
needs them.
Yeah.
Doesn't work so well on that one. So that's cream, and that's grey.
That'll probably be one of the hard parts for some people though when they want to test with these paints, as they are new paints. Getting extra models to test them on.
Yep. Convenient that places like Last Bastion have models you can use to test on.
Yep. Which means they'll never have to worry about ruining their own models.
No. Never again will you have to worry about ruining your models. Come and ruin ours. It really does not matter how much you put on as well.
Well, fine enough. I'm just watching you paint there, and you're definitely giving that some hammer with the brush, aren't you? When was the last time you actually painted a model like that?
I don't, because it ruins the brush.
That wasn't my brush, was it?
No.
Right, but not only that, but it would really affect the paint as it goes on, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would not look nice at all, but that, you're giving it some right hammer, and it's not ruined the model the way you've been painting.
Was I in shot with Frozen, by the way?
I know, you're still in shot, yeah, that's why I've stayed on this side of the camera to actually keep everything in view.
Check pick the difference shouldn't be like that.
That was the pictures I just looked at. So, coincidentally, me calling this the good, the bad and ugly has proved with the paints, isn't it?
It has.
It's shown that there have been some pretty awful ones, some pretty good ones, and then,
Pretty.
yeah, very few bad points about using these paints. Pretty much the only bad points is if you're not using contrast over the entirety of the model, being neat, then having to go back over the model. That's probably the only two bad points about the paint.
Yeah. Look at the state of that.
So, this is Matt's paint palette.
Covered in splats.
Splats, and obviously, around there as well, the splattering just all on there as well.
So, don't put any models
Near it.
near
Yeah,
it.
do you want me to put that back? For the moment.
Yeah. So that's 2-1. Hair, I don't even know if me do dad. Never mind.
If you're in, don't worry, I'll check in a second, won't I? Yeah, you're still in.
Wow. I managed to cover it. in 3 brushes.
Yeah, here's something you don't have to worry about. Your paint drying out.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Because literally you're using straight from the pot, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. I only mix it when I want to water it down a little bit. So I could happily paint plague marines like this. Just making them dirtier and dirtier and dirtier. Because every single layer it adds another something.
Oh, there's a thought. On smaller scale models, this could be quite ideal for Flames of War.
It could, couldn't it? It's more of a solid blue on that compared to on that. I'd say that looks more like a Space Wolf grey than a blue. You know, like the Space Wolf's grey used to come out when you washed it. But that is getting really nice. That'd be nice for Night Lords.
That is a nice dark blue, I do like that.
I really want to do a Space Marine Legion in that colour. Yeah, there's tons of browns that I don't really want to try out.
I mean, there's been a person on the painting forums that did a brown for a fur cloak. That turned out quite well.
We should call it a night soon.
Well, there's nothing really much left to cover on what we think of contrast paints.
Oh, this is... Ooh. I can see me do some Tyranids in this colour.
They cover nicely. They shade nicely. Yeah.
I probably use these more than washes as well.
Well, that's when you think about it. You won't need to use a wash on most parts of the model if you're using contrast. Only the bits you've not put a contrast on would you need a wash.
See, I'd normally have washed down the Wasdacker and then layered it. Well, that's done everything for me by putting the Wasdacker and then putting that contrast paint on it. So put a nice base colour down and then put your contrast over to wash it and highlight it at the same time. It's not necessarily going to have to be a I've done my model white, I'm now going to use contrast paint. It can be I've done some painting, oh, I need this colour to be a different tint. Oh, let's get a contrast paint out because that'll do it for me. Get the right contrast paint for the job and you've saved yourself hours of layering and highlighting and washing and more layering, etc. Vicious circle.
So if you've got a pink base, chuck a pink contrast on top and they'll do your layer and shade on the same time, won't it?
Question is it really voluptuous? Voluptuous. It's just pink.
Is that what it says then?
Is it voluptuous?
No, it's not voluptuous. Volupus.
Volupus. What's
Something.
volupus? It sounds Russian. Volupus pink. That wasn't very Russian.
How would you pronounce it, Sean?
Volupus.
Volupus.
Volupus. What's volupus mean? So somebody found out what volupus means. It must mean something.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure that most of the time Games Workshop just make up these words.
But nice for pink horrors. But again, that's something that Caribou Crimson can do.
It's a minute word.
That's basically just Caribou Crimson in a pot. In my opinion.
That could be a nice colour for guts.
It could be a nice colour for guts. Have I made off purple yet?
No.
I'm going to try it over this. Oh, excuse me for burp. Ooh, that's a nice purple. So this is a nice pink, I think, over this colour. I quite like this as a pink.
Well, saying that, if you probably chucked it over the greys here, it would probably gone more purple, but now you've chucked it over the Wraith Bone, it's made a bit more pink, hasn't it? I'll say. So now girls can have a nice pink army without it looking too garish for the boys.
Or Tyranids can have all the brains.
Well, that's it. That'll be perfect for them, won't it?
All the heads in this pink. Next one I'm going to try is what was it called? I forgot what it was called now. I was going to try.
No, what type of colour? Like a green, a brown, yellow, blue?
I don't know. It was another purple. But there isn't another purple.
There is the Slash purple. Was it that one you were going to try?
Maybe I was just thinking something else. I can't think now. It's brain freeze head time. Freeze head time.
Just looks like a fleshy space marine that now.
Doesn't it? It's a space marine that's been turned inside out. Oh, you said over grey, didn't you?
That's it, yeah.
Definitely the Hello Kitty Brigade, isn't it? Damn!
What?
Wrong paint.
So I'm not saying about the Hello Kitty parade.
I'm liking that.
Yeah.
I'll take another colour.
Yeah, see, that's gone on more purple than pink then, hasn't it?
It has. Wonder what it's like over the red undercoat.
So we've got from Mace, it's brew again, guys. Enjoy the stream, but I'm naffed and need sleep, so he's off to bed. So,
Lightweight.
No, Mace. It's been
Night,
fun having you.
Mace. Love you.
And next week we will be back on Sunday, so don't worry about that.
Sunday fun day.
Mm-hmm.
What we're doing next Sunday?
Not too sure. Watch this space.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
There's us organising like always.
Yeah.
I think let's do something different, like
That hush puppy.
Wild West Exodus or something.
Do you want to do a Wild West then, do you?
Been a while since I've played it.
Yeah.
Could do with learning it again.
Nice. Showcase X-Wing or Legion?
I could do Legion. I know Legion off by heart. I might even paint it.
We'll let you know later on during the week as to what the next stream will be anyway. We definitely have choices, but we shall let you know.
Interesting, completely different colour change.
No, so, just quickly then, the colour change there. Same paint, different base. There we go, we've got Mace. Do Exodus.
Do Exodus.
I'll have to finish off that reference sheet.
You will. It's like a more subtle Agrak Surf shade over the red.
Yeah.
I love the way there's massive gaps in these models.
So I think that pretty much covers your play of these models, and doesn't it tonight?
I think so. I think
Nice.
we've had a good fight.
The good news.
We fought the good fought. But better than washing. And if you want a better finish, then you'll need to do some layering, I think. But just to get your army finished on the field very quickly, I think it's definitely an option. Just play around with them a bit more and see what we can achieve. How am I to splatter all over there?
Yeah, you have ways, haven't you?
Some colours are going to be better than others. So yeah, play around. Thank you for joining us. Like, subscribe and do all that rubbish on our page, please.